Hey, and welcome to UK Politics Weekly. Today I'm going to be going through the UK India Free Trade Agreement that was agreed upon the 6th of May 2025. I'll be going through some of the things it promises to deliver and what to expect. Right, so let's jump right into it. So, starting off with some of the headlines, this deal is expected to increase bilateral trade by 25.5 billion and add 4.8 billion a year to the economy and boost wages by 2.2 billion in the long run. So what does this mean? And how does it sort of compare to other trade that's going on inside the UK? Well, as we know so far, India makes up quite a small amount of trade to the UK. So we can see here at these charts the imports and exports provided by the BBC. We've got 1.9 on the exports and 1.8% on the imports. So not much. And last year that totaled about 42 billion. And this deal is going to add another 25.5 billion a year. So minimal in terms of the overall impact, but nonetheless we'll see some benefits company-wise. So there's a bunch of companies listed out here on the official press release. Standard Chartered, UPS, John Smedley, Smith and Nephew, a bunch of companies that are hailing this agreement as something great for the country, which I agree, I think it is. The first company I want to take a look at is UPS. So UPS came out and said it's a welcome change and the important agreement will help the two countries that are both in vital markets in our global network. So UPS obviously ships globally and is going to benefit from this through streamlined customs procedures. Streamlined customs procedures, meaning they're going to address the non-tariff barriers to trade. They're going to use less paper, physical paper, and instead use more digital documents. India is also committed to posting all procedures and rules, including regulations, online in English. And we're also going to see a single window trade system, meaning all imports and export documents can be uploaded to a single place. The final thing is they're endeavouring to have a 48-hour max holding time for things being imported. But to move goods rapidly through the country, they're planning on doing this 48-hour holding window. So for companies like UPS, that means that their goods can reach customers a lot faster, trade becomes a lot more efficient, and it opens up new opportunities for companies to rapidly spread merchandise products around. The second company I wanted to take a look at was the Premier League. So at first you may think, why would the Premier League benefit from this trade agreement, right? It's not like football's a physically traded item. But what the trade agreement also brings with it is copyright protection laws in India. So they're making the laws a lot harder, and the copyright protection laws also protects illegal streaming as well. So the Premier League has an interest there. They've expanded the copyright protections to protect materials for at least 60 years. But what the Premier League hopes to gain from this is it hopes to be able to grow its business in India, and through the crackdown on illegal streaming and the projected gain in general wealth, GDP per capita in India, they're hoping to be able to get more people to buy merchandise, to watch more streams through official means, and of course the Premier League takes a dividend off the top of that. So that's how they benefit from it. So moving on, I wanted to take a look at what sort of things the average person could gain from this deal. So an article here by the BBC has listed a few things here, including clothing, footwear, food, some cars, high value cars, medical devices. So I looked through a few of these, and ones that stick out for your average Joe, stuff like cars. So cars entering India from the UK will get a reduction from 100% to 10% in the tariff. A cut in Indian tariffs is expected to increase demand for luxury vehicles manufactured in the UK, such as Aston Martin, Bentley, Rolls-Royce, Jaguar Land Rover. Tata Motors, which owns Jaguar Land Rover, is meant to be the primary beneficiary. Moving on to food. We're going to have a reduction in food such as rice, prawns, spices, onions, that type of stuff. Anything that's sort of made over in India is going to come down in price because, as we know, tariffs are passed on to the consumer. The final point for this deal I wanted to talk about was the national insurance. So a lot's been made of this national insurance rise, and I don't think it's been particularly fair from a lot of news outlets, as you would expect. But essentially, people are worried that the national insurance exemptions for Indian workers is going to undercut British workers in the UK, because that's what it is, right? It's a if you are an Indian worker and you have a intra-company transfer visa, you're going to be able to not pay national insurance in the UK and instead continue to pay national insurance or the equivalent in India. And like I said earlier, everything here is reciprocal, so that would be the exact same for UK workers in India. Right now, the net migration is around 700,000, I think, to the UK. So I think we have 400,000 going to India and 1.1 million coming to the UK, at least based off last year's figures. So some people are saying it's expected to cost about 100 million and it's going to cost the worker a lot of money, but it's really not, because as Jonathan Reynolds points out here, it's less than a tenth of the 1 billion additional revenue expected to bring in from having these workers in the UK. And you might be thinking, why would we want more of these workers in the UK? Well, because to apply for an intra-company transfer visa, you need to fill these requirements. So a minimum salary of 41,000 or 23,000 for a graduate job. You must have £900 in your savings. So the average worker coming over is going to be on 41,500. That's going to provide way more in taxes than it's going to take away through the national insurance. And after they're only exempt for 3 years, so after 3 years, if they're still here, they need to start paying it again. So all in all, as pointed out here, I think it's going to be a net positive. That's the UK India trade deal. I'm happy to have gone through it, and I'm interested to see how this is going to affect the economy. This should take place in around about a year from now, I believe. So we won't see any immediate effects from it, but yeah, they're the highlights. Well, thanks for listening, and please subscribe for more. Leave a comment down below. Thanks.